make use of sentences when we are speaking, reading, and writing. In order to form correct sentences, we place the words in a particular order such that they give meaning to what we want to convey. For example, if I say, "Saw at the jungle safari I a pride of lions." Now, these group of words do not make complete sense, so we cannot call this a sentence. Now, let's rearrange these words and see how it sounds. I saw a pride of lions at the jungle safari. Now, these group of words make complete sense, so we will call them a sentence. Based on what we have learned, let's define a sentence. So, what is a sentence? A set of words arranged in a predetermined order so that they express a clear thought is called a sentence. We must remember that all sentences begin with a capital letter. We punctuate the sentences by a full stop, question mark, or an exclamation mark at the end, depending on what the sentence is conveying. Based on their purpose, we classify the sentences in the following 4 types: assertive, interrogative, exclamatory, and imperative sentences. Let's understand each of them in detail. Assertive sentence. An assertive sentence is also called a declarative sentence. So, when a sentence makes a statement and gives us information about a noun, it is said to be an assertive or a declarative sentence. This means that any sentence that is giving us some information or telling us something, declaring us something, it will be called an assertive or declarative sentence. Now, an assertive or declarative sentence always ends with a period or full stop. Let's understand assertive or declarative sentence with the following examples. Reading helps gain knowledge. A poisonous snake bit the boy. This summer vacation, my family is traveling to America. All sentences are telling us something or informing us something, they're declaring something. So therefore, all these sentences are assertive or declarative sentence, and they all end with a full stop. Now let's understand what an interrogative sentence is. A sentence that asks a question or requests information is called an interrogative sentence. It always ends with a question mark. Interrogative sentences are of 4 types. The first one is WH questions. These are direct questions that begin with the WH word. How, what, when, where, why, which, who, whose, whom. For example, how many eggs did the hen lay? Why was the child crying? Where is my book? The second type of interrogative sentences are yes/no questions. These are questions for which the answer could be either a yes or a no. For example, did it rain yesterday in your town? Is the teacher going to give us a test today? Play with me? Now kindly notice that in all these sentences, the questions do not begin with a WH word, but instead they all begin with a helping verb. The third type of interrogative sentences are choice questions. These are questions that contain 2 or more alternatives or choices. For example, do you prefer tea or coffee? Should I call you Mr. Brown or Sam? The fourth type of interrogative sentences are question tags. These are questions where a tag question word is added at the end of a statement. For example, Rita likes chocolates, doesn't she? The dog was barking all night, wasn't it? Yesterday, they weren't at home, were they? Tag question words are helping verbs followed by a pronoun. Now let's understand the rules for adding the tag. An affirmative statement carries a negative tag, and a negative statement carries an affirmative tag. Now let's look at the examples once again. Rita likes chocolates, doesn't she? Now how do we follow the rules is we copy the statement Rita likes chocolate followed by a comma, then we add a helping verb doesn't followed by a pronoun she, because here the subject Rita is a feminine gender, so we add she as a pronoun and then a question mark. Now since Rita likes chocolate is an affirmative statement, therefore the tag is a negative one. Now let's look at the second example. The dog was barking all night, wasn't it? The dog was barking all night is an affirmative statement, so the tag will be a negative one. Now how do we add is the dog was barking all night, we put a comma after that, followed by a helping verb wasn't and then a pronoun it. Now we add it because the subject over here is the dog. And then we add the question mark. Now let's look at the third example. Yesterday they weren't at home, were they? Yesterday they weren't at home is a negative statement. Therefore, we add a positive tag. Now let's look at the third type of sentence, which is an exclamatory sentence. A sentence that conveys an excitement or emotion of the speaker is an exclamatory sentence. We use an exclamation mark at the end of the sentence. Let's look at some examples for the exclamatory sentence. What a pleasant surprise! Hooray! We won the match. How clever you are! Note, if a sentence uses an interjection, we put the exclamation mark after a declarative sentence. Kindly look at the second example. Hooray! We won the match. Here, hooray is an interjection. Therefore, we put an exclamation mark after the interjection hooray, followed by the statement we won the match. Now let's understand the fourth type of sentence, which is an imperative sentence. A sentence that gives an order, command, request, suggestion, proposal, or instruction is an imperative sentence. An imperative sentence begins with a verb and ends with a period or full stop. Often, in an imperative sentence, the subject is missing or it is an implied subject, which we consider it to be you. So, you is an implied subject in an imperative sentence. Let's look at some examples for the imperative sentences. The first one, take a step forward. This is an order. Now, if you look at the statement very carefully, you find that the subject is missing, and instead the sentence begins with a helping verb take. So, here the subject is implied, which we take it to be you. So, the statement could have been read as, you take a step forward. But since in an imperative sentence, we do not add the subject, we begin the statement with a helping verb take. Now the second example is, let's go for a walk. This is a suggestion. The third example, please get me a glass of water. This is a request. The fourth example, don't go too close to the fire, is